What has impacted me about the 13th Man organization is the rigorous exercise and speakers who are dedicated to us and bringing their talents to improve our life as black males in the United States. I'm also very grateful for the opportunity, and I would like to thank Dr. Kelly and all the panelists who came to speak to us. Thank you.
When I started the 13th Man, I had the conversation with my mom about, hey, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know. It just sounded like a good idea. I know what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to put it on paper. So she told me to put it on paper. The first thing that came to my mind was this summer classic. I wanted 3 days of young men sitting around a classroom, learning, conversing, being educated, having fun, and doing the next thing in their lives. However, the purpose of the 13th Man was not just to be a mentor, but also, because of my background, to be sort of a sports camp along with it. That was the goal. Timing is something else. It runs away from you quickly, right? It runs away. So for those who don't know what the 13th Man is, how I came up with that line, let me give you a little bit of where I came up with that. I have a huge basketball background. I coach high school basketball. I've done it now for over 15 years. I played in college, played in high school. So that's all I know from a sports perspective is basketball. There are usually 12 men on a basketball team. Fortunately, because I did play sports and was on it, I was able to travel to all types of cities from, you guys do AAU, who does it, all types of cities, get all kinds of gear, Nike gear and everything, all the way through up college. But then what happens to that guy who doesn't make the team? He missed that last shot. He didn't run that sprint hard enough. What happens to him, right? Because all the coaches now focus on those 12 guys. They need to win that Peach Jam. They need to go down to this AAU tournament and win this over 24/7. So that 13th guy doesn't make it. So how do we get him there? So we're trying to get that 13th man to now become one of those 12. That's our goal. Or however many on the football team to be gold, right?
Going to work, fill up some soda, stick the sponge in there. Go to work 8 to 10 hours a day, come back home, rig it out. Okay, all right, soda's coming out, you sure? Yes. All right, why is that? Huh? You soaked up?
What goes in comes out.
What goes in comes out, is that true? Yes. That's a universal statement. What goes in comes out. So when I talk about manhood and knowledge, what you consume, so probably half of y'all came in here, you had some headphones on. I didn't ask anybody if I could listen to what you had on. But I can imagine what might be in there. A lot of y'all go home, maybe some of y'all, maybe not a lot. I don't know what you guys do, but sometimes guys I mentor, they go home from school, they turn on what? TV, what they watch? What channel? What network? BET, what else? MTV, what else? Bravo, you come home, I know, because one time I was in a hotel and I got off of work early and I went to the hotel to turn on TV. There was all kinds of stuff on there. Now imagine you do that every day. Imagine every day you listening to whatever y'all listen to, or the rap artists, or you come home, you watch TV, and every day you do that for 4 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, however long you do it. When pressure comes, what comes out? Huh? What do you say? Whatever's in that channel is going to come out. Now some people say, well, I can do this stuff, it don't really affect me. I'm telling you, man, this is a universal law. So I'm trying to give you some knowledge. So today, there's a guy that mentors with us. He came in one Saturday. He had this huge book. It was like one of these 500 pages book on leadership. And he said, look, what I do every day, I get on Metro, I can find a seat, I read. Every day, I get on Metro. Every day, I get on Metro. And I'm on the train, I gotta sit on the train, so I read this book about leadership every day. So when pressure comes, what's gonna come out of it? Leadership. So you guys get 3 days 3 days thereabout of good stuff. And what you want to do is you want to take advantage of it. Because men are knowledgeable. They take in good stuff. The guys, I submit to you, the guys taking in bad stuff all the time are not great men. They're not great men. Because when pressure comes, they do stupid stuff.
Guess what I have in my basket? Okay, very good. So here's the deal. I'm going to pass the ball, and I want you to take, like 4 or 5 pieces of candy. Now,
I want you to look at your wrappers, and this is how you're going to introduce yourself. So, if you have red wrappers, so look at the primary colors of the candies that you've chosen. If it's red, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us your favorite hobby. If it's mostly orange, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us your favorite subject in school. Green, favorite memory. Blue, your dream job. And if it's yellow, you get to tell us anything you want, okay? Now, if you have a whole bunch of different colors, you have to tell us one thing from each of those color categories, okay? Did everybody understand? When we think about how we introduce ourselves as 13th men, right? What would be the most appropriate way to introduce yourself? Out of this list, what are some of the things that should be the same?
Eye contact.
Okay, and what should the eye contact be? Look at the audience. Okay.
who you are going to become is already in you. A tree doesn't become a tree. It's an acorn first. A tree does not become a tree. It is an acorn first, which is a form of a tree. So you are a form of what you will become. It is already in there. You might You are already a form of what you are going to become. Pay attention. You guys just stood up and talked about what your hobbies were. Some were basketball. Some were football. Everybody's hobby wasn't the same. Your favorite subject in school isn't the same. What does that tell you about yourself? You don't have to be like anybody else. Can I just tell you something that you may not know? But I'm going to hip you to it right now. Don't forget it. There is not another person on this planet like you. There is not another person on this planet like you. I'm going to tell you 2 things so you can get this. Number 1, you all heard of DNA. Anybody in here does not know what DNA is? Anybody? If you watch a criminal show, they're talking about DNA. It is the coding in your body that identifies you. Do you know that everybody on this planet's DNA is 75%? 75% of your DNA is the same. 75%. Because we're all human. Our DNA is not going to look anything like a dog, even though there will be some similarities. But 75% of our DNA is the same. Then there's a portion of the DNA that's only identified with your family and your bloodline. That's why they take DNA tests on that show and say, you are the father. Right? What's that show? And then the remaining portion of the DNA identifies you. And only you. Listen to what I'm saying. Even if you have a twin, even if it's an identical twin, your DNA is not the same. I don't want you all to miss this, because we spend a lot of our lives looking at other people trying to be like them. Your job is to be better, be more of and better of what you already are. If anybody can repeat that, I will give them $1. Anyway, because I don't know what I just said. But you have to be a better version of who you are. You start as the acorn I talked about with the tree. And then over time that gets watered. And it becomes something else. And then there's a root. And then there's a trunk, right? And then there's this tree. But the tree existed in the acorn.
What I'm saying. So, like I said, I went to prison at 19 years old. I spent 20 years in prison. 20 years in prison, right? Came home, filling out job application after 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 job application. And each application came back with the same thing. No. 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 So that was in reference to, that was that 12-man roster. I didn't make the team. I was the 13th man, right? They told me no. They told me no. They told me no. They told me no. So I was the 13th man. After being told no so many times, being told no so many times, you know, I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, man, why? I need a job. And the only way I'm gonna be able to get a job is I gotta present myself a certain way. So I went back, you know, I revamped myself, reinvented myself to present myself a better way, right? So then a few doors started opening up for me. I had one job after another job, you know, but when my background came back, it was, I'm sorry, Mr. Lassiter, we gotta let you go. I'm sorry, Mr. Lassiter, you're a good worker, but we gotta let you go, right? So that brings me to Mr. Kelly. Hey, man, you know, I've been cutting hair since I was 12 years old. So I'm a barber. You know, I need a job, Mr. Kelly. And I'm a hard worker. I'm on time. Like they told me to be here at 12 o'clock if I wanted to have lunch. It wasn't about lunch, right? Guess what time I was here? I was here at 11:15. Because if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Right? So Mr. Kelly, I need a job, you know, hard working, whatever. He said, you know what? I like how you presented yourself to me. Here's my information. Come see me. Went to see him. It's been 2 years, 2.5 years now, I've been a full-time barber at the 2014 Steve Harvey Award winning My Barbershop. Now guess what? Some days I sit in the barbershop, 10 hours a day. Sometimes. I might don't turn my clippers on now one time. Well, guess where I'm at? I'm at the barbershop. Guess why I'm at the barbershop? I'm at the barbershop 10 hours a day. Sometimes I don't turn my clippers on. I don't make no money. So if I don't turn my clippers on, I don't make no money. But I'm at the barbershop like I am because that's my job. Right? That's my job. So regardless if I can't make no money if I'm not at my job. There might just be one person come through the door, that 13th man. See, I'm gonna keep going back to that 13th man. So everybody else might be around me cutting hair, right? So it may be one person come through the door, excuse me, you need some help? Yeah, come on, I just got off the bench. Put me in the game, coach. I'm in the game now. Cut hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's about dedication. And anything that you encounter in life is gonna take dedication. It's going to take you to work hard at whatever it is that you want to do. You're going to have to work hard at it, and you're going to have to be dedicated to it, right? So I came home from prison. You know, my friends, they still wilding out. Man, what's up, Duck? How you doing? Woo, man, glad to see you. Man, I got this for you. Woo, I got, no, you don't got nothing for me. You got a job? Because that's where I'm at.
right. Check? All right. Quickly, let's move like your interactions. See, what I've been talking about is your interaction. You're interacting with Mr. Kelly. You're interacting with Brother Bradford. You're interacting with people you just met. You're interacting with a hotel. And you have to learn how to come in. You can't throw paper on the floor just because you don't feel like it or you missed the basket. Bend down, pick it up, put it in the trash. Same way I would do in your house. Check? Okay, your interactions. You go to the Kennedy Center. You don't holler out in the movie theater like some people do in some of your local theaters and think that everything is funny. You laugh at certain things. You know when to do it. I teach my classes how to laugh. Watch this. I want you to do like this. I'm going to say laugh, and when I say cut, I want you to laugh. Laugh. Okay? And I know it's funny, but that's what it is. You have to know how to laugh and when to laugh. And you don't laugh at people's downfalls or something that someone does something wrong. When I was at the end of the session, I heard another person ask a question that seemed like it must have been asked for. A couple people chuckled. That's inappropriate. Repeat after me. Say, school is the right place to be wrong. That's where you're supposed to be. You have a job, your mother, father, aunt, uncle, grandmother has a job, they pay taxes, they pay my salary when I teach. You come to school, and if you're wrong, they let the person there that's paid, that's educated, that is trained, that has OJT, on the job trained, has learned how to help you. You don't go out there as Poochie, Watermelon, and Babe Bruh, how do you sell drugs? You ask someone else, how do you compound interest, whether quarterly or daily or monthly or whatever it is? What is an APR on a credit card? Somebody give you a credit card at 29% and you think that's good, as opposed to one that's 13%. You don't know your math because you haven't listened to somebody on the street tell you how to get it. Don't do that. Everybody with me? Okay, I can only touch on these quick. You know what manners are. Somebody tell me, what is manners? Give it to me quickly.
My name is Larry, and manners is like when you have respect for somebody.
Okay, so give me an example of how you can show good manners.
Like if you see like a lady coming and then you're like running from her, you can just open the door for her.
What about if it's a man?
You do the same thing.
What about if it's a little kid? Absolutely. So it's anybody. You all understand that? Don't be in a rush to be disrespectful. Learn to help other people.
Here is the best way that we can fix this. Best way that we can fix these interactions between ourselves and police. And I'm saying ourselves because I have the same dilemmas that you guys have. Number one, obey the law. Obey the law. Why did I stop Caden?
He ran 2 stops.
No, Caden was speeding. He was 60 in the 30. Why did I stop Raymond? Not just one stop sign, but 2 stop signs. Okay, so number one, obey the law. If you start a sentence with, well, first I was smoking weed and then what happened was, you're already wrong. If you start a sentence with, I was at this spot and my gun fell out, you're already wrong. You're already wrong. So when the sentence starts with, I was in Southeast, coming from my mom's house and I ran 2 stop signs, you're already wrong. I was speeding down Blaisburg. You're already in a situation that's going to require interaction. How many times, raise your hand, have you ever been somewhere and the police just rolled up on you, you've done nothing wrong, and they just rolled up on you and said, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Have a nice day. Put your hands down, because it's never happened.
I told you.
It's never happened. You have never been somewhere and the police have walked up on you and said, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Have a nice day. Never. Even at school, if that person has done that, it's because they have a familial relationship with you. What I mean by that is that they have a common interest. You're not going to walk outside right now and PG County is just going to roll up on you and say, hey, have a nice day. It don't work. The only time the major time that you've had interaction with the police are 2 reasons. You need them or they are looking for you. Somebody's breaking into your house, you don't call him, do you? You dial 9 and then what?
Okay, so let's go back to the Nico and how this helped him. So, I asked the Nico to do what I asked him to teach him. You know what it was? The young man in my group, he went out and I asked him, I said, I want you to go out and be quiet, young man, for a minute, okay? That's okay.
And I asked him to hammer 21 nails. 21? Yes. And he went out and he did it. Took him about 30 minutes. And he came back and something miraculous happened. He was calm. I could talk to him. His mother could talk to him. What do you think happened to him? Because you had said it. And we'll stay with you. What happened? He let out the steam. And nail hammering is the best and most effective way to let it out. Because guess what's happening when you're hammering it, when you're doing this? First of all, it takes concentration, right? Remember, you're doing this. And every time that you hit, there's that aggression that he felt that was going from here to here. So the reason I asked him to do 21, because he was very angry. Some of the young men I have him do it 7 times. So he was concentrating, and by him concentrating on hammering the nail, he got away from what made him angry. Do you see what I'm saying? And by the time he got done, his mother, he was calm, he was cool, he was collected.
Excellent. So usually what we see is crisis, all right? Something happens. But before something happens, there's usually a place of discomfort, right? So let's just use an altercation with another gentleman. The fight happens. That's the crisis, correct? Would that be fair? Give me an example of the discomfort that shows before the fight. Yes, sir.
Like somebody was all up on
a
certain person. He was like too close.
Okay. Very good. So discomfort. Perhaps nothing is said yet, but things don't quite feel right. Now again, I like to be a little hands-on, so please, it's a conflict workshop. Nobody do anything out of pocket, okay? Who see what I'm doing?
Yeah, huh? You on me.
Who? I'm on who?
Snake. Me.
You?
Yeah.
How you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Right. Discomfort. Something don't quite, I know he's sitting there like, why is this man all up in my personal space? Discomfort. Something doesn't quite feel right. Now, crisis would have been what? Huh? I snuck him or he snuck me? Somebody got snuck. Good, good, okay. So tension, so that's discomfort. Then we got incident. Have a short, sharp exchange. Somebody give me an example of what happens then.
Oh, somebody, they get smart up there.
Good point. So give me an example of what you could do or say.
Back up.
Back up. No, you wouldn't say it like that. Say it like you would say it.
Back up. Back up.
Oh, wow. Right. So, wait, but listen. Check out. So, again, crisis. You see how it's building up? Crisis. We're going to back up into it. Discomfort was, he said, man, this don't quite feel right. Why is dude up on me? Now he says something. Back up. Then we move to what?
Oh, bro.
Or misunderstanding. Now, bam. Excellent. Say it again louder.
He took it the wrong way.
He took it the wrong way. So, I really could have been up here because he reminds me of my brother. And I want to connect with him. But he's uncomfortable. Then that leads us to an incident. And really, it's a misunderstanding. Right?
When you are deciding, let's say you're at a school dance, and there are 20 young ladies. Okay? Who do you decide to dance with? No, who do you go to first? I mean, tell me the honesty, okay, the baddest one. Now, how do you decide? Okay, so, okay, all right, okay, so now, let me ask you a question. Is that a judgment?
Yeah, but it's in your mind though.
Okay, so wait, time out. Let's rewind. There was a couple of you. First he said, you know, a slews that could include how you look, right? As well as any other, you know, if there's an odor or something of that nature, which I can understand that. But the whole point is people make judgments. And they make the judgment in 30 seconds or less. Is it fair? No. Is it true? Absolutely. And we just showed that 2 minutes ago. Now, here's the point. The point is that because we now know that people are going to make judgments, it's up to you to be intentional about how people perceive you. So it's really important that we understand how our image affects other people. Now, let's do a quick exercise around tying ties. So I'm going to ask everybody to grab a tie. And in fact, if I could have, just take one and pass them around. Okay, excellent. Okay, good. Now, I want you to grab two guys. Every two guys go with each of the ones that know how to tie a tie. And move around so that you have more space. Move around so you have more space. You can kind of help demonstrate on someone that's here.
Over there.
Over like this. Right? I believe. And then you tuck it under again. Pull it here.
Only when you're mature enough to stop judging people and really care about giving back is when you'll get the reward. Does that make sense? You got it? That's self-awareness. That's where I'm trying to get you guys to go first. So being self-aware, understanding why you do what you do, because ultimately you're going to have to communicate that. You're going to have to show up in a way that makes you different. You ready? You ready? Yes. How do you want to show up? That's a question. Period. In this room. When you walk out there in the hall, I heard that earlier. Did you, hold on. Did y'all not think that everybody in that lobby, everybody in this hotel is not paying attention to the group of young men walking around this hotel? Did y'all not think that? Y'all knew that? Y'all knew that? Okay. So how do you want to show up? You want your pants? Respectful young man. Okay. Respectful young man.
Dress to impress.
Dress to impress.
Shining and glistening.
Say it again. Shining and glistening. Good attitude. So that's a very, very good point. Now, I recently knew a person who got fired from their job because of what they posted on social media. Not thinking, not knowing, not understanding that their company surfs social media sites to see what folks are doing. And you know why they got fired? Because what they were doing went against that company's brand, their image. The moral of the story is be careful what you put out there. People look. People watch, because we're talking about your brand. I don't care what you're doing per se, but once you put it on social media, now the world knows, and you cannot ensure that everybody won't judge you behind what you put out there. Yes, sir.
But what should accompany good morning? When you greet somebody, what should come with it? Yes. How you doing? What else? A smile. It's free. Now, what happens if somebody frowns at you? How do you feel when you're frowned at? How would you feel? Yes.
Disturbed.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, well, why are they frowning at me, right? How do you feel when someone smiles at you? Joyful. It it makes you feel happy. Now, I heard your joke, but that's all right. But here's the point. It's free. That's where we start with social graces, is just simple greetings. Making sure that when someone, especially an older person, Now I could be, everybody in here, I could be your grandmother, okay? I'm that old. And what I expect is respect. I've earned it. So a simple courtesy of hello with a smile. That's all, that lights my day up. Who knows, if you're sitting down, which silverware is yours and which glasses are yours? Okay, yes. Are your glasses to the left or to the right?
Right or right?
So your glasses to the right and your silverware is where?
To the left and to the right.
Okay, so now if it's a crowded table, it's 2 easy ways to remember. You could either put a little B and D under the table, bread, drink, right? Or just remember BMW, bread, meal, water. Okay, so you always can remember bread, meal, water. This is my water and this is my bread and silverware. Okay, so bread, meal, water. Really easy to remember. Now, the only other thing I want to mention is your napkin. Your napkin is a vital part of, exactly. So your napkin goes on your lap. It's not to be tucked inside your shirt.
So always remember, money is a servant. You are the master. You ever seen $10,000 before?
Yes.
You ever seen 20,000? 30. 40 grand? Hold on, listen. Listen, I said 4 points and I'm out of here. 4 points and I'm out of here. But who's I understand we have 7th through 10th, 11th graders in here. But who's really paid attention to what just happened? Yes.
Money.
I heard you. Say it back, young man. You, purple shirt with the food in your mouth. Everybody went crazy. A lot of attention. The first part of that is always remember, money is a servant. Whether this is real, whether this is fake, whether it's mine, whether it's yours, gentlemen, you have to understand that this money doesn't control you. It's a piece of paper. Without circulation, it does nothing. Without the proper management, it does nothing for you. It actually destroys you. You are in control of this. Don't ever let this control you. These 4 stacks just tore this room up. Just tore the room up. Oh, it ain't real. That's fake. Let me smell it. Let me touch it. Let me eat it. Let me burn it. Man, you wouldn't have that and just... Why? Now, I would hate to see what would happen if I just start peeling them off and let you have it. Next slide. Next slide. Now, to bring it full circle, to bring it home, and when I say you control how you make your money, you control all of this is by positioning yourself in life to earn money, to be able to give back. Money is designed to be earned and then given back. Helping people is giving back. That's where you find passion out of life, not by the amount of money you make. So a couple of things I want you all to understand as you move forward. Understand your needs versus your wants, okay? Some people's needs are another person's wants. You saw that video yesterday. I've gone to the thrift store to buy some shoes, okay? I'm not ashamed to say it. There's nothing wrong with it. Understand, what do I need? What can I live without? What will I miss? Do you understand that? What do I need? Do I need Jordans? Do I need North Face? North Face? Okay. What do we need versus what do we want? Do we need a coat? Can I stay warm with a $30 coat? All right, it can happen. Understand your needs versus your want. I need a car. Do I need a Mercedes? Second thing is people get things, they purchase things, they do things for different reasons. So for example, a person may go out and buy a Mercedes because they can afford it. They may have made a smart investment in the, let's just say stock. Somehow they got money and maybe that's how they want to spend it. And that's okay. My only problem is don't go out and buy a Mercedes and be living in your mama's apartment. There's a difference, okay? Don't go out and buy Jordans and you know you don't have a book for class. There's a difference between needs versus wants. Now, I'm all for, hey, if you can get something nice, you should treat yourself when you work hard. But just be smart about it. Next slide.
Hello, my name is Ryan, and I would like to know, is it really hard to run a business? Like how difficult is it?
Good question. Good question. Yeah.
I'll say, the first answer is yes. Running a business is a part of, or becomes a part of who you are. So when you think about running a business, it's a daily activity. Sometimes it's even a 24-hour activity. Because depending upon what your business does, you have to think about, just as the gentleman just mentioned, you guys have to think about all kinds of things. Not just your customers, your employees. You have to think about the people that are next door to your business. I just had an example where one of my neighbors in a retail center that I have a business flooded my store because their sprinkler system went off. So you got to think about people to the left, people to the right. So it is difficult, but it's not impossible. There is a process. And as you grow and you learn that process, it becomes easier and easier because it becomes second nature. And then you create objectives, things you want to get out of your business. So yes, it is, but as you learn it, again, you will be in a great position to be very successful when you run a business.
I remember when I first started my company some 40 years ago, I asked my dad, I said, what do I need to be mindful of? He told me all money is not good money. All money is not good money. See, many people, in fact, most people go into business to make money. Don't misunderstand me. Money is good. But you've got some bad people with money. Never sacrifice who you are. And make sure that as you go into business, always keep your client first. If you start putting yourself before your client, I'll guarantee you, you will fail. Everybody who has a business has what we call a niche. There's a group of people that God has set aside for you to serve and nobody else. But if you don't go to them and get them, God will pass them on. Don't try to be everything to everybody. Be good at what you are good at doing. And don't let the money motivate you. The money will find you.
Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce every young man of the first class of the 13th man.
Hello, my name is Ryan Johnson, and I'm proud to be a part of the 13th man.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah Keys, and I'm proud to be a part of the 13th Man organization.
I had a ball just just being here and just being here with Mr. Kelly, because I don't know about y'all, when I found out Devon, when he asked me to come, I didn't realize, I said, well, I'm gonna send maybe my son, nephew, whatever. I said, how much do I have to give? He said, free. I said, free? I told these boys, what in life is free? Watch what I'm about to say. A Nationals game, and I don't know about your parents, your boys can eat. Oh my goodness. And listen, I saw pizza Thursday night. Breakfast was so embarrassing. Piranhas. I don't think they have teeth because all they do is just swallow. Okay? They don't have teeth, but watch what I'm about to say. 42 young men, and to see one man that I grew up with, Devon Kelly, like I said, go back like babies and pacifiers. We go way back. To see what he has become, but not just, you know, the businesses, the multi-million-dollar stuff, the cars and all that. He talks to the boys about that. A lot of people have that, but what makes you a success is when you're able to give back. Amen.
I would just like to say that I appreciate that everything you've done for all of us here. You're a great mentor, you're a great role model, and I hope that everybody in this room wants to be more like you. I'm glad that you did all this stuff for us. I'm glad that you got this hotel, you did all this stuff for us. I just want you to know that we all appreciate it so much.
Amen. Appreciate that.
I can't count. One more. 1, 2, 3.